everybody, and thank you very much for your time today. And today I'm coming to you from Hardeeville, South Carolina. Yes. Alright guys, I am coming to you from a closed and somewhat abandoned Travelodge here, right along Route 95, right near the border of South Carolina and Georgia. Now, as you see, we're about to walk up and notice that the building is unsafe. Yes, according to the fire marshal, this is a fire and structural unsafe building, and also the other buildings that are on this property. Now, there is a nicer motel next door, and I have a feeling that the owners of that property might be maintaining this property also, just to make it look decent. I'm not sure if they own it also, and also I'm going to make an assumption here that maybe the property is being maintained. You'll see the grass looks to be in good shape. It's all edged nicely and it's mowed, possibly for a buyer to come along here. Now, I don't know if this motel can really be saved. It is kind of shady. It's also just seems really run down, so I would think that this is probably a property that is going to get demolished at some point. Now, throughout the video, I will call out a few points where there was actually a homeless encampment behind me, actually, as I'm filming right now, in the woods. And then also later on in the video, we had a little bit of a incident where some woman was behind the gas station next door and started screaming out randomly as she was pushing her cart. So I was like, hey, you know what? It's probably time for me to go. So as we take a look into the first room here during our visit at the motel, we see not bad, you know, just a normal motel, budget rate kind of motel, nothing fancy, but doesn't look disgusting or anything like that. You also did see that there was one of the rooms where the window was blown out, unfortunately. Now, this part of the hotel, or motel I should say, does have sliding glass doors that go outward. On the other side of this building, you're going to see a little bit different, where they actually have blocks where you can't go outside from the sliding glass doors. And then also there's another building on the property where you can't get to the outside without going into the lobby. So that's that kind of difference between a hotel and motel. But I'm just going to continue to call this place a motel. I love those cube lights, by the way. I would definitely love to have them around my pool. So there is the Travelodge sign. Now, there is a really actually nice Travelodge sign that you can see from Route 95 actually on this exit. And you see the building stucco. It's been painted multiple times. I dig that old sign there for building 3. I'm not really sure why the door would have been cemented closed. That's kind of weird. But when I was speaking with the lady that runs the fireworks stand across from this motel, she did say that it definitely wasn't just a fire concern, that there were some other things going on. Again, this is just rumor. This is just her stating it. I do not have any facts on hand. But supposedly there was a lot of drug activity at this motel, unfortunately, which is really sad to hear, because obviously when folks want a decent place to stay and they might not have enough money, you know what, these types of motels and hotels are the only place that they can stay. And when the people staying at these motels are drug users, drug sellers, whatever else it might be, it's a bad situation. Now, we're going to take a look at our first room here on the other side. We see some lovely stains. So shout out Dan Bell. Another dirty room. Come on and film right here. Kind of nasty there. We are probably not going to want to see what it looks like with a black light in that room. Now, if you take a look in front of the sliding glass doors, you see some patio blocks that are upward and are cemented in the ground. I think this area on the other side of the building possibly flooded often and might have some water issues. I really don't understand why else they would have done something like this. Now we're going to look in this room, which was really kind of nasty. You'll see a lot of whatever behind the TV, Looks like the door was kind of beat in. Looks like maybe this was one of the rooms that was lived in within the final days of the hotel being condemned, and maybe I shouldn't say condemned, just shut down, but it definitely has been shut down for several months now. Now we're going to continue to walk around, and other than the grass being mowed, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, the property itself is really run down. It's not crazy bad. One of the things that I do want to say is that the hallways are looking decent, at least, and we'll take a look in one of them right now. So the hallways look like they actually were renovated recently at some point. A little bit of carpet, a little bit of tile, looks like decent paint. But the rooms themselves, it looks like the linens have been there for maybe the last 20 plus years. And we're going to go and check out this other little Travelodge sign. I thought this one was really cool. Looks like it had been run into and or kicked at some point and was kind of bent over there. And also behind that sign in the background, you'll see, I believe it's a Sunoco gas station. And that's where later on in the video there was a homeless person that was freaking out over something, and I was like, all right, I got to get out of here before something happens. And you'll see the propane tanks there. So this place running on propane, again, old school roadside motel right on 95 on this exit of Hardeeville. Not a very impressive place, but of course not everybody can afford to stay at a Hilton or a Renaissance hotel. Now this room actually looked pretty decent on the inside. Maybe this is where the maintenance person maybe lived. Maybe there was somebody on site. And you'll see down on the lower level here for this building, there were no outward glass doors, and you see where they actually were at some point, where the windows are, because you see the AC unit, then you see the little light on the outside, and then that is where the doors were at some point, where those windows are. So I'm really curious as to why did they close off just this one half of the building. Was it a security concern? Maybe was it some other type of issue? Maybe just having glass doors was a major pain and people were breaking them. And we'll go ahead and meander on to the other part of the building here on the other side, and we'll take a look in the hallway in a moment. Again, shout out hallway. Hallway's looking decent, but the rest of the property and the rest of the building not looking too nice. Definitely not somewhere that I would like to stay. And you see things are padlocked up there, so I guess the fire marshal probably put those on. And we're going to take a look at this building here. Now, I think this is maybe where people checked in, and or this was where some maintenance stuff was kept. But you'll see some of the AC units. You'll see what looks like maybe some artwork, maybe some bedding, some dirty stuff going on there. And I went around this corner here and noticed a trash bag, and also I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go down that little alley there. So I decided to turn back around and head back towards the other side of the building. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at this one side again where just the windows are and no doors. And again, this is where that lady right there was yelling about something. She was pretty upset about something. So hey guys, I really appreciate you coming along for this visit to Hardeeville, South Carolina. If you need a hotel to stay at, obviously you're not going to be staying at the Travelodge, and I wouldn't suggest it either way if it was open. But thank you very much for your time. I hope that you do subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.